on that against the quad tank, we would be like immediately after the first or even the second push, would be like, okay, this is not going to work against 4 tanks. We're going to have to switch. Whereas if they ran like a triple tank with like a soldier, then we'd be like, yeah, it's going to be tricky, but if we could just change a couple of things, like how we approach it, who we dive, and maybe even snowball till we charge up ultimates, then like especially Genji Blade, since that's almost a guaranteed team wipe if your Genji is capable. That's almost a guaranteed team wipe. Then sure, we'll stick to it. So it's sort of like knowing which composition really hard counters your composition. Like knowing whether it's never gonna work versus like it might work if we play differently is a thing you could just develop by like gaining more game knowledge, scrimming against more compositions, figuring it out, etc., etc. Like what we like to do in scrims, and like this is something that we wouldn't do in tournaments, but something that we really do during scrims is we try to, even though we think that the composition is not really good, we kind of force it. So like for example, the quad tank example again, like we'd run triple or full dive into a quad tank, even though we know that it's probably not going to work, but seeing if we can find ways to, if it came down to the wire, like what we can do or what we can change about the composition we're running in order to make it effective against this particular team. Again, that's something we only do in scrims because scrims are scrims, but of course in a tournament you wouldn't take that risk, but because nothing's really up for grabs in scrims, you can sort of force compositions and figure out and change a couple of things, as long as that's your focus, like changing a couple of things. Don't just keep running the same comp and doing the same thing, thinking that eventually it'll work. Like, you have to be aware of the changes you have to make in terms of target focus or positioning and stuff like that. So I think that's to like, I kind of extended the question, but I think just to answer it simply is just play your compositions really smart on first point defenses, just because you don't really have the option to switch or be as flexible as the attackers do. It also really helps if you play a composition that you're already really comfortable with, or that you know that everyone kind of really knows how to play. So don't be too risky with your first point holds, because it, like we've shown you in the past, like the biggest consequence of it is literally you just lose the point right off the bat. So just keeping that in mind.
When we ran the Torb on King's Row, and we lost the point in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It was an interesting one. We went in and we were like,
yeah. So that it was so funny because we ran that in a scrim.
Charged something and he died.
We ran that in a scrim before you guys, and it did really well. And we were like, oh my god, this could be the thing. And then we ran it against you guys, and it totally just flopped. So, so obviously, like I said, forcing the comp to work until.
Taeyeon was like, it was funny because we did it against the first team, who were like pretty high ranked, like they were a decent team, and like Taeyeon was like,
what's their name?
Wow, god.
I actually forgot who we scrimmed. Was it
It wasn't Keys.
No.
Wait, what? No, was it?
No way.
No, it was Pachimari Gang, I think.
Oh, that's right. I think it was actually.
It was Arctis's team, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, they're like a 4.3k team. Yeah, we used the Torb on first point Kings Row and we held them at first point. And Taeyeon's like, wow, those guys are dick. And then we're like, alright, Taeyeon, go Torb. Like, and he's like, oh, who are we playing? We're like, Iron's team. And he's like, fuck, I don't want to play Torb against Iron's team. He's like, don't make me. I'm like, no, just try it.
He's like, we could do this.
And we go on. It was point like 20 seconds. He's like, yeah, that's what happens when they deal with the Torb. I'm like, oh no.
Taeyeon, don't. Taeyeon, don't.